Thanks for staying with us. So our hot topic today is about the fact that some news went viral. The wife of the late governor of Ondo State, Akeredolu's wife, Mrs. Betty Akeredolu, and the late governor's niece, Funke Akeredolu Aruna, on Monday traded words, especially as regards her support for the current governor. The former First Lady lamented her late husband's younger sister or niece, who was the former Deputy Chief of Protocol in the state. According to a social media post, Mrs. Akeredolu described Akeredolu Aruna as shameless and a serpent for supporting Aiyedatiwa, who is aiming to get the tickets for the ruling party. According to the post she put out, she said, "Behold the face of Aketi's niece, Funke Akeredolu Aruna, the former Deputy Chief Protocol to Aketi, shamelessly parades herself as I am lucky, bloody serpent." Of course, Mrs. Akeredolu Aruna also responded, says that the attack on her was political, was on her personality, as it was needless and purely political, alleging that it was designed to smear her image because she was close to the incumbent governor, Aiyedatiwa. So that's the conversation. I mean, we've all been on social media and seen how this kind of panned out in the last 24 hours or 48 hours. And some people saying that this is a woman who is mourning, so we should understand the emotions. Others are saying that it was unnecessary, her outburst. What are your thoughts on this? Because these are things that happens within families. I mean, especially when somebody passes on, or the person that holds the whole family together passes on, then you start seeing different emotions coming from different angles. What are your general thoughts on this? You can call us on 081-0764-1679, 090-241-63440. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect using the hashtag #YourView on TVC. You can stream live on YouTube at TVC Entertainment _. Follow our Instagram handle, the Ladies of Your View, and TVC _. All right, so, Ladies of Your View. Who wants to? Let me let you. You established the story in the paper review, yes.
And I have, I was very interested in why he was ill and why there was no transfer of power of duties to the deputy governor until he passed and all of that. So I think I have a bit of knowledge of this. And I remember that at that time, back and forth, there were talks about how the present widow comported herself. Some people criticized that she wasn't around him, that she hated the deputy governor for wanting to take over and all of that. So that's why I said at this time, she must be seen to now face the matters that are of concern. He has passed. We have lost a great person. But the state is separate from him. This is your family now. At the moment, she didn't run for any office in Ondo State. She does not have any political ambition portfolio. She can just continue with her family. She's the mother of his children. She's a widow, presently mourning. There are ways to face it. And I understand grief. In grief, you can be very bitter. In fact, my father's younger sister had a birthday a week after my father passed. We didn't know, because I didn't even know what her birthday was. But my cousins now put up a picture of their mom sitting with the cake and they were all singing happy birthday to you. I was like, excuse me. You people have the audacity. My father is not even dry to shop cake and sing happy birthday to. What nonsense. That was, if you see the way, I had to, at that moment, learn to shut up because I would have said destructive things. Yeah. But the way I reacted, I didn't even wish. When my auntie now called about 2 days after again, because she was always checking up, I just didn't pick her call. You can be in that space. If you've lost someone, you know this person is not coming back. This is your own love of your. You need to separate and let people live. Yeah. So I had to just learn to keep quiet. It's not a good place and time to talk. Yeah. So I understand that she's grieving, but can she just grieve the loved one and leave the state?
Politics. Okay, let me come to you, Mariam. What are your thoughts on this?
Yes, for me too, I think it's about understanding. It's about grieving, I get that. And, she's going through a really tough time right now. And because he was also governor, there were stories of maybe somebody tried to sabotage it. All sorts of things will be told to her. His detractors, his supporters, everybody will come with one story or the other. You know how it can be now when you're in a particular position. people all around will be weaving all sorts of stories, truth and untruth. They'll weave it and tell you. And then coupled with what she's going through, the grief, I can imagine, the sort of thoughts that she has. But it's not the time to go on social media. As also, if it's not social media, it's not the time to just say exactly how you feel. This is the time to sit down with your circle of very trusted friends and family and tell them how you feel. They are the ones that are going to keep your secret, if you understand what I mean. They will understand where it's coming from. They will understand the hurt or the bitterness. They will also understand that it doesn't really mean anything, but they'll keep it and kill it there, because what has happened now is that this thing has taken up a life of its own. Now the niece is responding. People are going to be telling the niece other things as well. And it has, if they already had like a shaky relationship, if there was no strong relationship or bond between them, this can go a long way in destroying it forever.
All right. Toko, let me come to you in this issue of loyalty. And I'd like to paint the picture based on what I read in the article. So this is a niece that used to serve under her uncle, right? Mm-hmm. Now, she knew the deputy governor as her uncle's deputy governor, and they were both like her uncles. They were really close. So they were like family until the cabal issue happened, where politics, people now had issues, interests changed. So your uncle's closest buddy is now his, was it the opponent, or when they were having issues back and forth at the time, right? Mm-hmm. Trying to find the word. So
rival?
Yeah, possibly rival. So at the time, right? Mm-hmm. Now, maybe while your uncle was alive, the other uncle, which is not your family blood member, you still supported him. I know you're trying to be governor, don't worry, something will happen, but I have to stay with my uncle. Now, fortunately or unfortunately, your uncle dies. You now have an adult decision to support him because you've always known him anyway. Is there something wrong in her being loyal to somebody who she also sees as family member that's been really close? Because it's a tough decision, it's a tough place to be in. Am I loyal to my dead uncle who was governor, who didn't want this guy to be governor in the first place? Or should I just be myself and support him because he's a good guy, I just like him?
So I don't think loyalty has to do with it. The only person that can contest her loyalty is already dead. May his soul rest in peace. The only person who can say she was not loyal to me is that late former governor. And from her position, she said, I know him, I know the relationship that this governor has with my uncle. They had no issue until the cabal came in and sold propaganda. So what we are consuming on social media and in conventional media largely is propaganda, because for every time the current governor spoke, he said, I have no issue with my governor, that he was loyal to his principal till the man died. So here is a lady that is in between this, saw the drama happening, but knows the truth. And according to her statement, she chose to stick with the truth. The truth, the only person that can say her truth is not true.
What the wife doesn't believe is the truth. The wife might say, no, took a wrong side. Took a wrong side.
Because the propaganda we heard said the wife was against the deputy governor. You know, like I said, we don't know the truth of the situation. They had no issue until he became ill. That's if we're dealing with the political facts. Based on not based on what he said. Though. Politically, the former governor and the current governor had no issue until the late governor.
What she's saying is that that's what they told us outside, but internally they could have issues. They're way to placate these things
conversation, that's why I started by saying that the only person that can say that you have been disloyal to me
is him.
He's the person who's passed on. And I feel that as an adult, she's entitled to where she will stand, especially in the midst of politics. We know what politics can do. Politics divide family. They would put a father against his son.
Yeah.
They will go and meet the son and tell the son, I will give you a position so that your father will not get what he wants. You know, there are different drama that happens when it comes to politics. So to thyself be true. When it comes to politics, it is in your own heart that you know. When you take one side, I said I'm openly taking a side in Ondo State election. That's because I choose to be open about my conversation. Somebody can come and tell me now that you don't have a right to do anything. What's your business? You are a wife. Politics can be covered in plenty selfish interests. It is only even the woman that the late widow that is speaking right now. To what interest? You know, you ask, like, to what interest? Why? Like, what are you trying to, this post you did on Facebook now, to achieve what? Because according to the niece, she's saying you want to paint me black. To what interest? So when we think about the intention behind everything that is being done, you would realize that the truth is already obvious to everybody. There was a consistent lie being pushed out. And we shouldn't go back into a case of somebody that has passed on, but there was a constant lie being pushed out that he was okay, he's coming back, all of that story to keep somebody else back. So there was a lot of things that shouldn't have happened that happened within that Ondo State drama. So if today they have now sworn in somebody else after your husband's passing, that's the will of the people, that's government. There should be no conversation around it anymore. But I get what Nima said and what Mariam said. When people are grieving, there are a lot of emotions.
But can you also say it's grieving? The reason why I always argue that, grieving, no. Because when somebody dies, like suddenly, you see a grieving wife. Stuff like this, you're not on Facebook. But when somebody is sick for a while, your mind already prepares yourself that, okay, eventually he's better off going to rest. So it helps the grieving. Wigwe's wife is grieving. Oh, she's passed. No. I'm just somebody who the family is grieving. You will not see anybody in the family trying to post anything on social media because they are grieving.
The intention.
But somebody who is sick and there's a period of illness, even my mother was sick for a while, for 10 weeks. In that 10 weeks, I had to come to a point where my mother has to go for her to let her go and rest because the pain is too much. So there's grieving and there's grieving. So are you sure that this is a grieving?
No.
Or this is just somebody who
is bitter from?
Let's assume. Let's just, when somebody has passed and their loved ones are not acting proper, they are grieving. And we cannot assume the level of love.
Okay.
We cannot even tell, there's no way to
see how they should cry.
That's the matter. But, at this time, Betty Akeredolu has always been a Facebook person. She has a very active Facebook page for ranting, expressing her thoughts, write anything. Yes. This is the time when I expect the people around her, knowing how she's always done, to close that page.
Thank you.
And allow her. She's from the East. They say when they grieve, I think it's a year of, the woman will have her hair shaved. The woman would,
not all the...
No, by the ones I knew growing up, she should be...
Seclusion.
And reminiscing the times with this person and praying for the repose of his soul. Stay away from anything toxic at this time. You see, one thing that grief has taught me is that everything takes care of itself with time.
Yeah.
Whether this Aruna lady is betrayed, serpent or whatever, it is with time. It is not with the speeches that you make. But you see the problem is that just as you are talking now, the talk, everything you've written will not go. It's on record. And it's with time we will know where. Everybody will have something to refer to. For her right now, what will earn my respect is for her to just stay away and face her family. Because she's not the only one grieving. We don't know the level of love. We don't know the ages of the children. Yeah. Some of them will be too much. A friend was telling me recently that her uncle is ill. The first time he had an illness, he's in his 80s. The first time he had an illness, one child of all his children left wherever she was and came to stay with him. The moment this one started again, she has come back again. This one child, the children will be grieving in their different levels. Some will be able to face life again. Some will not be able to. Yeah. Her business now is to rally that immediate family, that one that she has control of, and make sure everybody is fine.
We have to wrap up on this because we have 3 guests. I know you wanted to say something.
Yes, I just wanted to say that also we need to look at the peculiarity of this particular situation. See, people in political families, they hear so much. So you have someone that's instigating all sorts of emotions and the sort of speech that you hear. So also, if we say that this is someone that's always been on Facebook or social media, why do we think that there's someone that can stop her right now? This is now, she feels now even more justified to speak her mind.
It's therapeutic.
It will be more, even therapeutic for her. It will be really hard to, to tie her down. Are you going to tie her down? Are you going to lock up her social media? So the thing is, right now, I just advise her to stay off social media for now, grieve in privacy, and eventually, things will come out.
Even during the tributes, I heard that some of the things she wrote also started eliciting.
Yeah,
so there are different ways of looking at this thing. So, it's possible. I know there are also women where now that Oga has gone, it's time for you to express your true what has been hurting you. There's some mothers I know that have been suppressed. There's some women who have been suppressed, who have been bullied in their marriages. And when the man passes on, they see an opportunity to express the hurt they've been feeling for years. So that could be something
pressure.
If
you have a sister, go to your sister's house
content.
and express it.
Pressure would only reveal content. It's already inside, it's coming out. If you're pressed. So she found herself in grieving position. There's a pressure on her. What is inside will come out. If you don't have, see someone calling somebody serpent, the things that you will not say. So I understand she's going through what she's going through. There's a lot of things that we've seen on social media that she's posted before.
So that for somebody to say serpent, that means they have betrayed, they have shown her pepper. She's coming from a pepper, they have peppered her for years.
Or some people are just used to using really
kind of strong language.
Okay, even when they are joking, they use strong language. So when they are angry, you can imagine how strong it will be.
That's all we can take on this segment, but I think it was just important for us to just touch on it because we've not even addressed the grieving part. There'll be other parts of opportunities to have this conversation properly because women and men who have this situation, they question loyalty, they question family, they question loved ones, they question commitments to each other. So this is the conversation worth having another time. But we have quite a few guests today, so we have to get to wrap up. Let's go on a short break. When we come back, we move on to our next segment. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.